What wonderful 2 days in Ranakpur. I enjoyed my time visiting the Jain temples and above all, the nature reserve was just fascinating. The leopards of Ranakpur and the landscape is very mesmerizing. On the way to Udaipur, I made my first stop at Eklinga Temple, which holds a special place in history of Mewar. Good morning, everybody. Today I'm riding from Ranakpur to Udaipur. The distance is about 90 kilometers, but my first stop it at the Eklinga Temple, which is right at the bottom of this beautiful gorge. This is also a very important spot in history of India, because after the indecisive battle of Haldighati, Maharana Pratap, along with his young son Prince Amar Singh, had taken refuge. This is where he was building his army strength to conquer his kingdom Mewar and regain the control over Mewar. The incident is, young Prince Amar Singh was sitting on a rock somewhere just around here, and that's when a jungle cat took away his bread from his hand. And a great poet of Rajasthan, Mr. Kanhaiyalal Sethia, had narrated this entire incident in his poem. And the poem goes like, Are ghasri roti hi jad ban bilavdo le bhagyo, choto so amryo roi padyo, ranaro soyo dukh jagyo. This is when Maharana Pratap realized the pain not only of his son but also of his subjects, and he became more adamant to take control over his kingdom, Mewar. This is that landscape, this is that spot. I found this after some research and I wanted to share this with all of you. It's a great poem, and this, if you're interested in history and the spots where these incidents took place, please come to Eklinga Temple, which is just about 8 kilometers from Ranakpur on the way to Udaipur. Thank you. Cheers. After spending a couple of hours at Eklinga Temple, I was on my way to Udaipur, which lies about 94 kilometers south of Ranakpur. On the way, during the journey, thousands of memories from previous trips crossed my mind, and the only thing which flashed into my mind was Splendour and Legacy of Mewar. What a beautiful morning trek from Prem Kunj here on the edge of the beautiful city, the lake city of Udaipur. It took me about 40 minutes hike, but it's quite steep to start with, and once I crossed about first 10 minutes, walked 10 minutes, I was just perfect, and tranquility. I saw Blue Bow in the morning, came up here, and that's the view which you get from here. Buddy Lake right at the back of me. And as you all know, we Indians are known for our tea. Well, Ayurveda mentions tea, but India never practiced tea as now it is known. Tea was used only as medicinal purpose till first half of 19th century, when the British started set up a proper tea garden in Assam. Assam and Darjeeling, two types of tea is known across the globe, but we also have hundreds of other teas, including Nilgiri, which happens to be my favorite. Well, there's a story behind the tea during the British Raj. As we all know, the British were building these clock towers across the country. So when they got to know about that Indians don't like tea and they wanted to sell tea to Indians, we consume 70% of tea ourselves now. But so what British did, that they used to get these hand-push carts into the town, and at 3:30 tea was served for free, and Indians got hooked on tea in that manner. And nowadays, the first thing when you go to any house, people will ask you, what would you like? A cup of tea? That's normal expression. But I'm going to make some masala tea and share the recipe, how we make it. A simple masala tea, but let's enjoy the beautiful view. And you can see the Bahubali Hill right in the distance. Buddy Lake gets a lot of migratory and resident birds as well. So I would suggest Buddy Lake and this hike from Prem Kunj should go on the Indian bucket list. Thank you guys, and now I'll make tea. Morning well spent. Enjoyed trekking along and walking along the Aravali hills, and reached right at the top of what we call here the hilltop. Is called the hill is called Magra. So enjoying the landscape of Mewar, Udaipur, the kingdom, and the Buddy Lake right in the background. Plan for rest of the day is that I'm going to visit the museum, the 16th century palace of the Maharanas of Mewar, which was built over generations. And speciality of Udaipur is the miniature school of art. And there's one very exciting feature which I won't share right now, but you will see it later on. And it's just, scene is just beautiful. Please add this trek from Prem Kunj, this beautiful track to your Indian bucket list. Thank you. After enjoying the aerial view from the hilltop, I asked Bhupender, the owner of Prem Kunj, to give me a second ward jeep so that I can enjoy the countryside and the drive of Mewar landscape. The countryside is just so beautiful. The rose-winged parakeets flying and the peacocks calling. When I arrived at Buddy Lake, I saw Bahubali Hill right in front of me. It's a very popular destination. And the chhatris on the dam and are just fascinating. When I arrived on the lake, it made my day as I saw the morning mist hanging in the air. Fascinating. City of Lakes, Venice of East, Udaipur, has many monuments, places of interest, including temples and palaces. But what Udaipur has, other than that, is the lakes, as it says, 7 lakes in and around the city of Udaipur. I am standing at the 17th century lake which was built by Maharana Raj Singh Ji to irrigate the land of his kingdom and help his farmers. Today it has become a place where people like to come, but what is interesting is that birding site. It is a perfect place for people who like to hike and also to enjoy bird life. I would really suggest, if you are in Udaipur, please come to Buddy Lake. It's just round the edge of the city, and a beautiful dam and a lot of good bird life. Now I'm going to explore the surroundings of Udaipur, and I would really suggest you add Buddy Lake to your Indian bucket list. Thank you. After finishing the birding session at Buddy Lake, I made my way to Sajangarh Palace, which is also called Monsoon Palace, the Serpentine Road, which you take through the Sajangarh Wildlife Sanctuary. You get to see Aravali Hills, and once you arrive, you need to take steps right to the top where the Monsoon Palace is. And once you make your way into the palace, you arrive at a spot which gives you a fascinating view of Udaipur. After a scenic ride through the Aravali Hills coming from Udaipur, I was heading towards Sajangarh. After about 8 kilometers drive, I had reached right at the top of this beautiful hill. Where I have arrived, the name of the palace is Sajangarh Palace, built in the year 1884 by Maharana Sajan Singh of Mewar. Originally, he commissioned the palace to study astronomy. Generations after him started enjoying monsoon season from here, and hence the new name, Monsoon Palace. It has beautiful courtyards, balconies, palaces, and lot of architectural highlights. What you enjoy from Sajangarh Palace is the landscape of Mewar Kingdom and its capital Udaipur. The lakes are visible, the hills, Aravali Hills around the city are visible. And the interesting fact about Sajangarh Palace is that it was the climax scene of Octopussy, the James Bond film, was shot here. When you're in Udaipur next, please do come to the Monsoon Palace or Sajangarh Palace. I strongly recommend coming here especially for the photographers, people who are in wildlife and people who enjoy architecture. It must go on the Indian bucket list. Thank you. Now let's go inside and enjoy the palace. What I really like about the Sajangarh Palace as it is now, it's been restored and a lot of maintenance work is going on, which is really good. And they have developed a nice little museum and also a center where the life and wildlife around Sajangarh is in a scale model, where I saw a caracal, a real size caracal model, and a rock python, and also the birds like Great Indian Bustard, and it's really good to see all that coming up and the maintenance work in progress. This is certainly a place which can go onto the Indian bucket list. Thank you. Once done with the Sajangarh Palace, I made my way to Udaipur, the city of lakes. Old city also has lot of arts and crafts, as the Maharanas have nurtured their kingdom. As part of Indian bucket list, we always make it a point that we also showcase the arts and crafts of the city. And as part of that, we decided to visit a miniature school of painting of Udaipur. No visit to Udaipur is complete without visiting a miniature school of art. Mewar School of Painting of Miniatures is very, very popular and very famous. That is one of the things you must look at when in Udaipur. I have come to Brahma School of Art. That's where the artists still work and teach their students. So let's go inside and check out the Mewar School of Miniature Paintings. I have arrived at Brahma School of Miniature Art. In India, we have many schools and fashions of styles of miniature paintings. But when you're in Udaipur, what you need to do is you need to find the miniature school paintings. The style of Mewar developed in early 17th century, but with the arrival of the Mughals in India, the influence was very natural to come to Mewar School of Art as well. The painting itself is a very tedious process, and when I say miniature, it means not just small painting but a lot of detail into the painting, and that's why it is called Miniature School of Art and Miniature Paintings. I would like to introduce the gentleman who is an expert. His name is Mr. Mahendra Singh, and he runs this Miniature School of Painting. And so we will find out more details from him, and we will talk about colors, textures and paper. Lovely to meet you.
Same here.
So we would like you to tell us what colors and how the paintings are made, the process of painting, and over to you.
Definitely. See, what we do, still in Mewar here, we do and we use the same method what our forefathers used to do it for the paintings. We use mineral colors, which I can show you here. These are all the mineral colors. See, in a shape of a rock, and look at this. And once you use it, this with the water, I can show you here. So the base is water, and look at this. And the acacia tree glue.
That's resin.
So that's a resin. The acacia tree glue. So we boil this mineral color with this acacia tree glue, and once it's ready, you can see this one of the gentlemen. That's the first lesson for these all the mineral colors to be grind. So the master artist, he teach to the newcomer how to grind the colors. That's the first lesson in this art. Later, the master artist, he do the freehand sketch.
So that is how the
This
process
is how,
is.
what we call it is the 6 different stage of a painting. So this is an hardboard, and we fix the silk
On this
on the
board.
hardboard, and that's by straight with the pencil. And earlier the artists used to do it straight with the brush.
Yeah.
And these brushes, what we use it from either a chipmunk tail, but it's all again a recycle. In one season they leave the hairs, we collect the hairs from different places, and then we use very, very fine brush. It's known as like one hair tail. Look at this. Very fine brush.
That's just one
It
few
looks like a
strands
one
of
hair. Yeah.
few strands of a squirrel tail.
So
feathers.
that's the first stage is here. Second is they use the brush
So
with
this is
same
more detail.
that's have a more detail. Then they use all the base color.
Base colors.
The fourth is the building. If animal or if any person is there, they do on the fourth
More
stage.
detailing.
More detailing. And the final, that's the fifth. And the fifth one is one of the most important thing. See, the place where they use the yellow color, we're still using the pure gold.
Pure gold.
That's true. The pure
Wow.
gold, I can show you one we have here in a bowl. Look at this. That's the pure gold.
So
That's the pure gold. The gold leaves crash, and we mix in a camel fat for the glue
for the glue, so that it stays on the painting.
on the painting.
Yeah. So
And
the camel fat.
that's true.
That's what is used to. Okay.
And once the place where we want to apply the gold on the painting, the gold, this one is used by the very fine brush, and later on the sixth stage is the
sixth
fine painting is completed.
So that's
And
the complete.
to make sure the gold should not come out, we use the agate stone to polish
Yeah, on top of the painting.
on top of the painting and
polishes the
on the
surface.
gold, especially on the gold.
So the surface is sealed by using the agate when the agate is rubbed on the finished painting, it gives a protective layer on top of the miniature paintings. What
fact-
I really want to see
Yeah,
is because I've heard that in Mewar School of Painting, a lot of paintings are from the Royal House of Mewar, court scenes
that's true.
and hunting scenes and processions.
True. See, in fact, these paintings, what we call it is a substitute of a camera,
Photographs.
photographs.
Yeah.
So these, our forefathers used to paint for the wedding, for the function, festival.
So whenever a special occasion took place or a festival, the paintings will be made
That's true.
with the people.
Look at this. This is one of the painting. You can find in the main city palace. So the artists either they do the copy from these paintings, and that's the Dashera festival scene.
Festival scene. So the Maharana is
Maharana is sitting here,
and he has his
all the royal people around,
tacos
and takus and all, and these
Umraos.
In fact,
Yes,
umraos.
umraos.
You are right.
and the capuchined elephants and the horses. What lovely detail! This book was published by the Museum Trust, I
That's
believe.
true, by the royal family of Mewar, and it's known as the City Palace Museum, Udaipur, the painting of Mewar court life.
This book has been used by the Brahma School of Art, and you can see how it is faded. But if you're looking for this book, you can buy it online. We will add in subtitles the name and the year of publication and ISBN number. But look at the lovely paintings, all miniature paintings from Mewar School of Art. Oh, they are the
That's hunting
scenes which we were talking about.
That's
And that's the Maharana, and that's the tiger there. And what detail, trees and water streams and grass. Just such lovely paintings.
So that's in fact, this is whatever the royal families used to do in their life in a daily activity, hunting or a festival or a festival like a Holi, like this is another
Holi.
painting, the Holi festival.
The festival of colors. People throwing colors on the Maharana as he walks through the city, or he's on his horse, beautiful horses, Mewar, Marwari horses.
That's true. But we have one of the master artist painting which I want to introduce you.
Please.
Here, he's a very young artist. He's sitting in our art school. Is Mr. Harish Sharma.
So this is what is very, very special, other than the monuments and the palaces and the temples and lakes and birding sites. This is what you should be looking at, and please add the miniature school of Mewar to the Indian bucket list. Thank you.
Thank you.
Once done with the Brahma Art School, which has some very beautiful art pieces and paintings, I decided to have my dinner on the Rooftop Restaurant, which is called Rasa by Para. It is the place to have dinner. It provides beautiful view of the 16th century palace complex. Rasa serves Indian and intercontinental recipes. I'm really thankful to all of you for supporting us. Please watch this page for our next episode, which is all about arts and crafts of the old city of Udaipur. And please keep following us. My Instagram handle is the_Indian_bucket list, and our YouTube channel is the Indian Bucket List.